Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna make a video here while I got the house to myself. I'm in the garage. It's just kind of quiet out here right now, so if my kids come running in here or something, they're outside, then I might have to pause it or whatever. Anyways, I was reading the Bible here, and I was actually gonna do a video on another topic, which I might kind of incorporate it into this one. But in Revelation chapter 20, I found something that just blew me away to where I was just like, okay, forget the other video because now I got to make one on this because I just think it's absolutely amazing. And here recently we've had this discussion on one of my videos about the whole rewards thing, where there's people that believe that, yeah, you're saved by grace and there's nothing you can do, like your works are shit. They'll admit to that. But then they say in order to receive the reward that Jesus has, you have to go out, preach the gospel, or, whatever they consider good works. And I just ran across these verses and I was just kind of blown away by it. And I want to read it to you, starting here in Revelation 20. And we'll just go ahead and start at verse 10. And this is basically John the Revelator wrote down everything that he saw in the Spirit. And notice that if you read through Revelation, you know how people will tell you, well, this part of the Bible you can take spiritually. But this part, Jesus is what he's saying, you have to take it literally. And when you read Revelation, man, if you were to take anything literally in that book, you would probably go crazy because you really can't. It's pretty much impossible. And most people that preach will actually try to find the spiritual aspect to the book of Revelation because it's really hard not to. But anyways, here's for the whole idea of crowns. The crowns that the Bible speaks of as being a special reward for those who do go the extra mile. I found this and I was just like, man, if this doesn't put the nail in the coffin about that mess, then I don't know what will. But there's other places that I'm probably going to end up going on. But anyway, verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne and him that sat on it. Now here's where they say that the great white throne judgment is where believers are going to be judged. Okay? And him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. Now, plural. Books. It's not one book, it's books. And another book was open. Okay, so this book is separate from those plural books, which is the book of life. Okay, so you got the book of life, and then you have all the other books. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books. Plural, okay? The plural books. That's what they're being judged out of. According to their works. Okay, pay close attention to that. Their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Okay, there's that again, their works. And death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life. Okay, so you had the book of life. And it never said anyone was judged out of the book of life. Never said that. It said the books and then by their works. And right here it says that in the second death, whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So you know what that tells me? That tells me every single person that does not believe in Jesus Christ, who is not in Christ, okay, born again in Christ, of the Spirit, anyone who's not written in that book of life, because anyone who believes is written in the book of life. Anybody outside of that is going to the lake of fire. Okay? It said it twice, their works, because they put faith in their actions, what they could do, what they couldn't do, trying to live a good life, trying to be a good person, trying to change, trying to do this, trying to do that. That's what they put their faith in. But those people that are written in the book of life, that's a done deal. It doesn't say anything about, okay, and those that were written in the book of life then were judged by their works. You know why? Because when you're in the book of life, your works are the works of Christ. There can't be any judgment about that. God is not going to judge his son based on his works, because his works are perfect. There's nothing to judge. You see what I'm saying? But these people are putting their faith in their own works, telling people that they got to live this way, they got to live that way, or you're not going to receive a reward. Now, let me ask you, where's the special reward right there? You got the book of life, and then you got the other books. So where's the special reward? See, there's no special reward because Christ himself is the reward. Now, I do want to read another part here. Kind of bear with me for a second. Okay, it's right here. Now, here's a vision of when we are united with Christ, okay, after the devil and everything has been done away with, when we are united with Christ, here is a vision of what this looks like. And I'm going to read this real quick. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, and I'm sorry, this is chapter 21, verse 1 at the top. Coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Okay, so you have the bride and you have the husband. You have the believers and you have Christ. And I have heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God, now pay attention to this part. I'm going to turn on the light because it's a little dark. Okay, now pay attention to this part. And this is verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Now, by the logic of saying that some people are going to receive a special reward and receive crowns, don't you think that that's going to cause some sorrow for the people that don't achieve that status? In fact, I hear preachers all the time saying, if you don't do good works or whatever, then when Jesus sees you, he's not going to be able to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Do you really want to feel like that? Do you really want to see how Jesus is going to look at you when he says that, you didn't do anything for me? Well, judging by my calculations, if that was the fact, if that could happen, then there's going to be sorrow, there's going to be crying, there's going to be tears, and there's going to be pain. Because I don't know about you, but if I get there and then Jesus looks at some other guy like, oh, you're well done, man, well done. And then he looks at me and he's like, man, Dusty, you didn't do enough. I don't even know why you're here. I mean, come on, man. Come on. But he's going to save me anyway. So then you're going to have a whole bunch of people just sitting around. And then what? What's that going to cause? Envy? Jealousy? Well, if you read down further, It says that nothing that defileth is going to be in heaven. Nothing abominable. Basically, it's saying nothing that can cause any kind of problems or issues are going to be in heaven. All the shit we deal with here is not going to be there. So if there's no crying, no sorrow, no none of that, then obviously there can't be any envy. There can't be any jealousy. There's no way that I could be in heaven and get sad and be like, man, I wish I would have done some more while I was on earth, so that I could be like that guy over there with that big giant crown on his head. Now, moving on from that, I was going to pull up this page off of this website, and it's called Got Questions. And a lot of times if you type a question into Google, it'll lead you to that website. And it's another bullshit, pharisaical, undercover website that is teaching people a false gospel. And I looked up the whole crown question, and as soon as I did that, boom, it popped in there. Because I wrote in there that the crowns represent Christ. And of course it leads to questions like, well, what are the crowns and all this stuff? And it led me to gotquestions.com, and they give you this whole spiel where they list all the 5 different crowns and why some believers are going to receive or can receive these crowns. Now, here's what's crazy. If you look at the 5 crowns, I think one is unperishable, one is the crown of righteousness, and I forget the other 3 now. But if you read what each one of those crowns means, or what it says, it has a word in there for that crown, named it, man, those are the exact characteristics of Jesus Christ. He is every one of those 5 things perfectly. But you want to tell me that it's talking about a physical crown, but you want to tell me that we can't look at in the spirit, that we need to look at literally. He's going to give us some crowns. But yet in Revelation, almost everything in Revelation, you have to try to see it in the spirit, or you ain't going to see nothing. Because this is going to sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo to you. Do you see how stupid it all is? So anyways, I hope that helps. I got to try to make these videos a little shorter, but I think I might go into more depth on this. I don't know. I think this one right here should pretty much clear it up. But there's more scriptures that I can bring up and try to make little short videos on. So anyways, God bless y'all, and until next time.